Okay. What do you call yourself?
Trash Pockets.
And Trash Pockets, where were you living before you were on the Pacific Crest Trail?
Boulder, Colorado.
And where are you from originally?
Also Boulder.
And do you go bouldering in Boulder, Colorado?
I've gone bouldering inside in Boulder, Colorado, but I haven't gone outside. I'd like to go outside though.
Okay.
Yeah.
Are people bold in Boulder, Colorado? Sorry, that's stupid. What are you passionate about? I mean, that's pretty stupid. I mean, you can answer that, but I wouldn't.
There is a 10K race in Boulder called the Boulder that happens on Memorial Day every year.
Oh yeah, it's spelled bold, B-O-L-D.
Boulder.
Boulder.
Okay.
I usually run that every year, which is fun.
And that's what you're passionate about?
No, God, sorry. I got distracted.
Oh no, I'm sorry.
Boulder,
I messed
Boulder.
up. I know. I'm trying to be more candid.
It's hard. I'm an artist, so I'm pretty passionate about art and making art and creativity and helping other people be creative and growing as an artist and being outside. And I can't remember all the things I said last time.
That's fair.
Like that.
And what kind of art do you make? And can you describe it some?
Yeah. Okay. So in school I studied printmaking. So that means
And
mostly...
you do this regularly, printmaking.
Yeah.
Okay.
It changes when, like, in school I had the studio that I was working in, so that gave me a lot of access to materials and space.
Mm-hmm.
Versus after graduating, I didn't have as much access. But like screen printing, like printing on T-shirts, that's a form of printmaking, which is probably the one that most people are familiar with. And I also will carve a material like wood or linoleum, and then whatever pieces of it remain raised that I don't carve, you can then ink those, and then you can print that on paper. So
Cool.
yeah, if you think of Japanese woodblock prints from way back.
I know
the really famous
all
wave
about
one
those.
that if you saw, you would absolutely know.
I've never seen that ever, but
Yes,
I'll look it
you
up though
have.
for
I
sure.
will show it to
I
you.
mean, I'll
You'll
Google
know.
it for sure. No, I don't think I've
No,
ever
it's
seen
one of the most famous art pieces that's ever been made, and
Seriously?
people think it's a painting, but it's actually woodblock print.
Really?
Absolutely.
Okay, I'm
Yeah,
excited to look it up. Okay. Okay.
So that and mixed media stuff and painting and drawing and journaling and so.
What do you think about the Pacific Crest Trail?
I really like it.
What do you like about it?
I like the community of people. I like the landscapes we've been walking through. The trees are pretty magical. In the beginning, we went from one mountain range into the next, and then you could look backwards and see where you were 3 weeks ago just based on the mountains. And then as we've gotten further north into the Cascades, we're following volcanoes north, and you'll see one off in the distance and then slowly walk your way towards it and then pass it and see it behind you, and that's pretty cool.
Okay. What do you what's it like? Because you guys have hiked together the whole time, right?
Yeah.
So what's that like? Do you guys ever get into arguments?
Have we ever argued? Maybe not.
No.
I mean, we've definitely had our issues, and
We've
I
had
think
moments of no, I think we should do this, but
and
And
also
one person's like, no, I should do this. The other person's like, no, we should do this.
but I don't think it's even gotten that far. It'll be. Would you say that it has?
no, I would say mostly it's just we'll both need space and time away from
Yeah.
each other, so we'll hike separately or do whatever,
For a little while.
or call our parents not in the same room. I don't know.
All
Whatever.
right. And I'm sorry. What do you call yourself?
Bullfrog.
And Bullfrog, where are you from originally?
Also Boulder.
And where were you living before the PCT?
Denver, Colorado.
Okay. And what are you passionate about?
No.
Getting your
Equality
haircut.
and getting haircuts.
Equality and getting haircuts. I mean, both
Equality or equity, whatever you want to call it.
Okay. And what do you think about the Pacific Crest Trail?
I really like it.
Yeah. What do you like about it?
I think there's a lot of things, but I really like being outside all the time, and then also the folks on it. I think a lot of them are very interesting and like-minded in some ways, and
Yeah.
it has its flaws, but I also really enjoy it.
Can you talk about maybe somebody you met that was rather interesting? Can you think of anybody? You don't have to name him, or you can name him or her or whatever.
Yeah. We met this older guy named Spot in the desert, and we only met him briefly outside of Mike's place, and I don't know, he was just very much so a character, and he was 70, and he was walking 20 miles a day, and we learned later he got the name Spot because he had yellow fever? Typhoid fever, and he had spots showing up on his body when he first started the PCT, and he didn't know why.
Oh, this year?
No, he's done it sections.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
So he was doing the first 500 miles when we met him. But he just was really cool, and when we ended up hitting that storm in Idlewild, he was like, do you two girls want a hotel room? Like, we are going to stay in this, like, tiny schoolhouse, Airbnb or something in Idlewild.
Yeah.
And he was like, I just don't want, like, a big party crowd, something like that. And he was like, I think you two would work well, or whatever.
So
and offered these 2 places to us, so we, like, went.
For free?
Stayed with him. No, we paid for it. I think it was, like,
whatever.
yeah, split a room. But he was just, like, the cutest ever and would, like, casually throw out facts, like, oh, yeah, when I lived on a boat for 14 years, and, like, whatever it was, he was just really cool.
That's awesome.
But yeah, he was a character, and we've kept in touch with him a little bit, and he lives in Portland, and I think if we're there, we're going to reach out to him and see him there.
Okay.
Yeah.
And Trash Pockets, do you have a story that you could share from your Pacific Crest Trail adventures?
Yeah. So actually we both went to college together for a little bit in Bellingham, Washington, and so it's been fun to be like walking.
Wait, you went to college together too?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And how long have you known each other?
14 or 15 years.
And have you been like really close the whole time?
No, we kind of became close in college.
Oh, okay.
And we were roommates our second year, so that's how we kind of knew we'd be able to share a tent.
And then was it kind of random that you went to the same college, or was it
Yeah,
like?
super
Yeah.
random.
Oh, really? Okay,
We
it
had,
wasn't
like, a
like you guys were
mutual
friends and
friend
like were
growing
going.
up
Okay.
That we were both really close with, but not that close with each other. And then we went to her high school graduation party, and she was like, guess what? Both of you are going to the same college. And we were like, what? That's random.
Oh, okay.
But then ended up, hanging out a bunch up there and becoming closer for sure.
That's cool.
Yeah. But anyway, we went to school up there. And that's okay. And I have some family friends up there who had a daughter that I babysat for the 4 years that I was living up there. And she's 12 now. But when I moved away and graduated, we then became pen pals. We'd send letters back and forth. And then when I was going to do the PCT, I was like, I'm not going to be that easy to reach. I'm going to be moving all the time. So instead, I'm going to send you a postcard from every town that we visit. And so I sent her a map of the PCT that had all the towns listed on it. And then, so every town we've been in, I've sent her a postcard from it. So I actually got to FaceTime her when we were at Snoqualmie Pass. And she has this little string of fairy lights in her room, and there's all the postcards that I've sent her from the PCT, and on the map she's been marking where we've
cool.
been. So we're gonna get to see her after the trail. But that's just been like a fun way to have someone else be involved with the trail.
That's great. And how did you two like did you just decide to like while you're like how are you here together? Like who decided were you both like is the PCT dream for both of you or like
Yeah.
Yeah?
Yeah. I had a really good friend from college who did it 2 years ago in 2017.
Okay.
And she was probably my biggest inspiration for this trail specifically. But I think both of us had been like, I don't know, feeling a little stagnant in our lives maybe, or like wanting to do something and not quite sure what it was. And then when we'd talk about it, we'd be like, yeah, maybe like a hike or maybe something else. And then Bullfrog had a good friend in Denver who was going to do the PCT this year and signing up for permits
Yeah, he
and
told
kind of
me
knew
about-
more of the logistics.
He told me he was signing up for permits the second wave. I think it was January 15th or something.
Okay.
And I was like, that sounds kind of cool. So we both signed up for permits, and a lot of things fell into place. Like, you had another opportunity that fell through.
Yeah,
Like
I had applied for this internship that I was waiting to hear back from that I wasn't supposed to hear back from them until February. And then on January 14th, I got an email that was like, nope, your application has been rejected. So I was like,
And permits were 15th, so we were like, okay,
Cool.
let's try.
doing the PCT.
Right on.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
And
We
then we
both
got
quit our
approved,
jobs.
and then we actually ended up getting the same start day, which was quite a process.
Yeah.
And then, quit our jobs and packed up our lives and
Did the
Yeah.
thing.
Sometimes people say like before or a common question is like, oh man, you're gonna meet a lot of weird people or like it's scary in the woods. Have you found that to be true at all?
we've gotten that
All
question a
people are
lot.
weird. But I don't think
But,
people
like,
in the woods are like
unsafe?
weirder. No.
Have you felt unsafe at all on this trip?
No, I wouldn't say any more. Okay, we've talked about this a lot. There's a
Yeah.
lot of people that are like, oh, you're women. How unsafe do you feel in the woods?
Like, have you met creepy guys?
And I think in reality, that's something that can happen like all the time or any time in life.
Yeah.
So like the woods aren't different. Like, I don't know. I don't think
Okay.
that it's been anything that's been unusually.
Yeah, you could be at home
Scary.
outside your house and have something weird and creepy happen
Okay.
to you. I don't think
But there have been a couple weird, creepy people out here, or not really? Just dudes being weird.
I think it's been nice to have each other.
There's been some strange
And
moments.
we've just avoided certain areas, I think, strategically.
Okay.
Yeah.
But if you were to say, like, if you were to recommend it to other women thinking to do it, like,
Oh, fuck
Fuck
yeah.
yeah.
go for it.
Oh, yeah. Absolutely.
Okay.
Yeah.
And the trail's gonna end soon. Is that? How do you feel about that?
I think,
Mixed.
yeah, mixed.
Okay.
It's gonna be
I think it's gonna be
weird.
a weird transition back into normal life.
It feels strange to think about. I don't really know what to expect, but also my body is really tired and ready to be done, I think.
No doubt. And is there anything else you want to tell the wonderful world here?
No.
Or the non-wonderful world?
Alex is quite a character.
Who is?
You are.
Why?
Just you are.
What do you mean? Okay.
That's all I gotta tell
That's
them.
fair.
You meet great people on the trail,
Yeah.
and you never know. You never know who you're gonna meet, and also we couldn't have done this trail without like the kindness of strangers.
Yeah.
Okay.
And I think that's been a big lesson from the
All
trail
right.
too.
Well, I think you ladies are wonderful. In my time I spent with you, I think both of you are just amazing. I hope we get to hang out more in the future.
I have
All
so
right.
too.
All right. Thank you.